The classroom door was still open when I heard it, my daughter's small voice ringing across the room, clear as a bell, calling out, "Mom," to a woman who was not me. I froze in the hallway, my hand still on the doorframe, watching as my 4-year-old daughter Wren ran straight past me and wrapped her arms around her teacher's legs. And what broke me wasn't the mistake. It was that neither of us corrected her. My name is Maren, and 8 months earlier I had buried my husband, Wren's father, after a car accident that left our small apartment feeling like a house with the heating turned off forever. Grief doesn't announce itself politely. It moves in, rearranges the furniture of your life, and dares you to keep going. I kept going because I had to. Wren needed breakfast made, socks matched, a mother who could stand upright long enough to braid her hair before preschool. Some mornings I managed. Some mornings I sat on the bathroom floor with the shower running so she wouldn't hear me cry. Wren's teacher was a woman named Sable Okafor, soft-spoken, patient, with a way of kneeling down to a child's eye level that made you believe she saw the whole world from there. I'd noticed her kindness in the pickup line, the way she always had a specific, gentle word for Wren, who had gone quiet in the months after the funeral. Teachers see things parents sometimes can't. Sable saw a little girl folding into herself, and she made it her business to coax her back out. That afternoon, when Wren called her Mom, I expected Sable to laugh it off, to gently say, "I'm Miss Sable, sweetheart," the way any responsible adult would. Instead, I watched her kneel down, wrap her arms around my daughter, and say nothing at all. Her eyes lifted to mine over Wren's shoulder, silently asking permission, silently apologizing, silently understanding something that didn't need words. I could have corrected it. I could have pulled Wren gently aside and reminded her. But my daughter was smiling, really smiling, the kind I hadn't seen in months, and some instinct in me, more animal than reasoned, told me not to touch it. Not yet. Instead, I stood in that doorway and let the moment exist. Later, walking to the car, Wren chattered about her day as if nothing unusual had happened at all, as if the word had simply slipped out of a place inside her that still needed a mother's name to hold on to, even if it belonged, for one afternoon, to someone else. That night, after Wren fell asleep, I sat at the kitchen table with a cup of tea gone cold and let myself finally cry the way I'd been avoiding for weeks. Not from sadness alone, but from something more complicated, gratitude tangled with grief, relief laced with guilt. My daughter had found a small patch of safety in a woman who wasn't obligated to give her any. And I hadn't lost anything by allowing it. If anything, I'd been given a glimpse of a version of Wren I feared I might never see again, unguarded, joyful, unafraid to reach for warmth. If you believe kindness deserves second chances, and that sometimes healing comes from the people we least expect, give this video a like, drop a comment below, share it with someone who needs a little hope today, and subscribe to Hope and Wisdom for more stories like this one. Over the following weeks, Sable and I began talking more at pickup, first about Wren's day, then about grief, then about the strange, quiet ache of raising a child through loss. She never overstepped. She never tried to fill a role she hadn't been given. But she showed up, consistently, the way people rarely do once the funeral flowers have wilted and the casseroles have stopped coming. She'd text to check on Wren after a hard night. She'd save a drawing Wren made for Mom and hand it to me with a small, careful smile, letting me decide what to do with the words written beneath it in shaky, 4-year-old handwriting. One afternoon, Wren asked me directly, in the unflinching way children ask the questions adults spend years avoiding, whether Miss Sable could be her mom too. My chest tightened, but I didn't panic. I told her that she already had a mother who loved her more than anything in this world, but that it was more than okay to let other people love her as well. I told her that love isn't a cup that empties when you pour it, it's a well that fills the more you draw from it. Wren considered this with the seriousness only small children can manage, then nodded and went back to her coloring, satisfied, as if I'd confirmed something she already understood better than I did. Sable never replaced anything. She simply stood in a gap that had opened in our lives and refused to let it swallow my daughter whole. And somewhere in that unglamorous, unspoken kindness, I began to heal too, not because grief disappeared, but because I remembered that people could still be gentle, that community could still exist, that a single teacher kneeling down in a classroom could hand a broken family back a piece of its light. If this story touched your heart even a little, please take a moment to like this video and share it with someone who might need to hear it today. Your support means more than you know, and it helps stories like this reach the people who need them most. Before I go, I want to ask you something. If you have ever been the sable in someone's story, the person who showed up quietly, without needing credit, write the word kindness in the comments below. I want to see how many of us are out there, holding space for someone else's healing. Wren still calls her Miss Sable now, mostly. But every so often, in a tired, half-asleep voice at bedtime, the old word slips out again, soft and unguarded. And every time it does, I let it stay, because I've learned that love multiplying is never something to correct.